Good evening. This cybersecurity strategy is designed for fictional airways, or FA. The strategy driver is to maintain the highest levels of data confidentiality, integrity, and availability to maximise security, safety, reliability, and quality of services offered to customers, staff, and external stakeholders. The priorities are compliance with extant legislative requirements, near real-time risk-informed cyber decisions and operations, and future-casting the cybersecurity impact of disruptive technologies on commercial aviation. While only the senior leadership has been shown here, all members of the organisation have responsibilities for cybersecurity. However, the cybersecurity strategy depends on support by senior leadership to ensure policies and procedures are implemented and adhered to. Furthermore, senior leadership also needs to ensure that the cybersecurity capability is properly resourced and is a key topic of discussion regarding the direction of the organisation. So the cybersecurity strategy is built on the US National Institute of Standards Computer Security Framework, which is designed to identify risks, protect systems, detect threats, respond to threats, and recover from the threat actions. This framework transfers into the Australian setting and can be mapped to the Information Security Manual security principles. FA employs enterprise-wide risk-informed cybersecurity policies and is responsive to a changing threat landscape. It can respond consistently to cyber threats, and its security staff possess the requisite knowledge and skills to perform their roles. However, there is more work to be done to link cybersecurity risk to the organisational objectives of a commercial air carrier which is traditionally focused on aviation outcomes. In making this shift, FA will achieve integration of cybersecurity into its organisational culture and be able to progress to the highest level, Tier 4, on the implementation scale. An abridged risk assessment matrix has been provided here. The risks here have been mapped against the stages of the cyber attack life cycle to indicate the means by which they can be introduced into the system, as well as inform the type of countermeasures that may be employed against them. Where risks have been determined to be low and the means exist for their management by routine procedures, they are accepted with typically no further action. However, certain extreme risks that cannot be avoided must be mitigated through more detailed planning and action. Other high security risks can be transferred to, for instance, cloud services, where external providers are contracted to ensure all cybersecurity requirements are met up to the level of data handling by the organisation's staff. The electronic flight bag, or EFB, and ancillary systems. The EFB poses an extreme level of risk to any form of aviation, given the increased opportunities for exploitation and the severe consequences of a breach. A series of preventive measures have been suggested against each stage of the cyber attack life cycle. These include awareness at the reconnaissance stage and expand to limiting applications installed on hardware to those considered mission essential only in order to reduce vulnerability at the weaponization, delivery, and exploitation stages. This further extends to the use of firewalls between each domain of the EFB, as well as banning the use of public Wi-Fi to counter the installation stage of the cycle. The command and control stage is addressed through strict controls on data transfer, which is confined to the community of systems forming the EFB, both in the air and on the ground. Finally, pattern matching is used to detect anomalies in the expected conditions of the aircraft in flight, in preparation, or in maintenance as a means of disrupting the actions on the objective stage of the life cycle. This is not confined to external transfer of traffic, but also communication between the different EFB elements or zones in the aircraft. Data is a vital organisational capability that is key to meeting a range of organisational objectives. Cyber incident response plan is driven by a desire to minimise damage caused by any data breach, whether through malicious internal or external acts, or unintended disclosures through accident or negligence. Under internal or external, including contracted third-party actors, a breach comprises the compromise of the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data. On occurrence, breaches are reported in accordance with requirements of the Notifiable Data Breaches Scheme, the General Data Protection Requirements in Europe, and may be reported to the Australian Cyber Security Centre if part of a wider cyber attack. The cyber incident response plan for FA is developed under the headings of preparation, identification, containment, eradication, recovery, and lessons learned. A detailed expansion on these headings cannot be provided here due to time constraints, and therefore the presentation concludes at this point. Thank you very much.